Something arrived in our solar system and left just as suddenly as if it never wanted to be seen. But it was seen.
Detected in October 2017, the object named Oumuamua, a Hawaiian term for messenger from afar, arriving first, captured the attention of astronomers across the globe.
It moved too fast, spun too erratically, and behaved too intelligently to be explained by conventional science.
For years, we thought we had gathered everything we could from its brief passage.
But then, an artificial intelligence algorithm was trained on old raw data from Oumuamua's encounter, and something unexpected emerged.
Hidden within the layers of visual noise was an image, or rather a pattern that no telescope or human analyst had ever detected.
This wasn't just a rock hurtling through space.
What AI revealed left researchers in stunned silence, and for some, in utter panic.
Was this a signature, a sign, a message, or perhaps something even more terrifying, a surveillance record?
What you're about to discover might change your entire understanding of deep space. Because what Oumuamua hid from us is now exposed, and it confirms what many have feared all along.
We were not the ones observing. When Oumuamua first appeared on astronomers' screens, it was already halfway across the inner solar system. Its speed far exceeding that of any known comet or asteroid. Traditional celestial mechanics couldn't explain it.
The object wasn't just fast, it was accelerating, and not in a way that could be attributed to gravity or solar radiation pressure. Imagine throwing a paper plane and watching it slowly gain speed on its own midair.
That's what Oumuamua was doing. Scientists proposed icy outgassing or other natural, but none fit. No tail was visible. No debris trail followed.
Its hyperbolic path indicated that it came from outside our solar system, making it the first known interstellar visitor.
And then it was gone. No return arc, no slowing down.
It exited just as mysteriously as it entered.
But what made Oumuamua unforgettable was not just its motion.
It was its shape.
Unlike any known space object, it was long and thin with a possible metallic sheen spinning on multiple axes.
And now, years later, AI has uncovered something embedded in the raw visual data from those critical observation hours.
Something that might finally explain that bizarre trajectory or make it much more terrifying.
A group of researchers frustrated by the inconclusive analysis of Oumuamua decided to revisit the archived visual data sets using advanced neural networks.
AI tools capable of detecting faint structures the human eye would never catch.
These deep learning algorithms scan thousands of individual frames collected during the object's brief passage. Initially, the AI found nothing of note, but then it stopped, fixating on a specific region of pixel noise where nothing had previously been flagged. After repeated analysis and image enhancement, a pattern began to form, not random, not natural.
It resembled structure, geometric and deliberate.
The AI-enhanced reconstruction revealed what looked like a sharply defined silhouette etched within the heat signature of the object. It was too symmetrical, too consistent to be noise or an illusion.
This wasn't a rock. It wasn't ice. The contours matched no natural asteroid body ever recorded. The implication?
The image may have been projected intentionally or otherwise as a form of energy echo or residue. Something left behind to be discovered by the very tools we're only just beginning to master.
The AI didn't just find a pattern. It found a fingerprint. Once the AI-generated image was stabilized, the debate began. Was it just an illusion born from machine overreach, or was it a genuine message in disguise?
Some compared the pattern to ancient earth glyphs, spirals, bars, lattice-like grids, often found in archaeological contexts tied to astronomical alignments. Others saw a form of language as if the shape was designed to be deciphered. Researchers brought in linguists, cryptographers, and signal theorists. The consensus was chilling.
This configuration wasn't random. It was encoded.
Not in our language, but using mathematical ratios and geometrical symmetry known across cultures and even species. Pythagorean primes, Fibonacci sequences, fractal layering. It was as if the object had been silently broadcasting a form of nonverbal intelligence, expecting someone would eventually find it.
But if it was a message, the real question becomes, who was it meant for, us or something else? As experts studied the image further, a disturbing theory emerged. What if Oumuamua wasn't simply passing by? What if it was watching?
The image's heat signature, when layered with temporal movement data, suggested that the object may have rotated in a pattern that kept Earth within a constant observational arc for nearly 72 hours.
That's not random drift. That's tracking. Even more puzzling were the electromagnetic anomalies detected during its closest approach.
Short bursts of frequencies that matched no known astrophysical sources.
Some scientists now believe these pulses were either transmissions or scans like sonar from an unseen submarine. The chilling possibility is that Oumuamua was never just a visitor.
It was a probe, a silent sentinel sent from deep space not just to explore but to evaluate.
And now, after decoding its hidden transmission, we might be confronting the realization that Earth was never alone in this cosmic conversation. We were simply unaware that someone or something was already listening. Just when the analysis of the image seemed to reach a plateau, a deeper layer was unearthed, not by human hands, but by AI parsing through the thermographic echo left in Oumuam's trajectory. This echo wasn't sound in the traditional sense. It was a spectral frequency, an anomaly buried within the object's motion trail that left behind a detectable signature. At first, scientists dismissed it as residual radiation from a passing comet, but the frequency wasn't random. It looped every 8.67 seconds. The same period matched precisely with Oumuam's complex rotation cycle. That level of coordination hinted at something synthetic. When run through a spectrograph and sonified, converted into audible frequencies, the result was eerily rhythmic, like a mechanical breath. The discovery reignited theories that what passed by Earth wasn't a rock or relic, but a probe cloaked in cosmic camouflage. Something or someone had sent it and left behind a hum buried in frequencies our species was just now capable of detecting. And perhaps it wasn't meant for our ears at all. As news of the AI-enhanced image and the mysterious echo reached the scientific community, a series of internal memos began circulating within space agencies. One of these accidentally leaked via an unsecured academic server suggested that some within NASA had flagged Oumuamua's behavior as non-natural from the very beginning.
The memo marked for internal review only outlined concerns about the object's unusual deceleration as it exited the solar system, almost as if it had switched modes, like a drone returning to low-power standby. What shocked analysts even more was that multiple government observatories had allegedly logged brief infrared flares trailing Oumuamua after its departure, anomalies consistent with propulsion events. The memo hinted that these flares may have been redacted from public data archives to avoid mass speculation and panic. It was no longer just about what we had seen. It was about what had been intentionally hidden. And now that AI had reopened the case, the cracks in the silence were widening. Whatever Oumuamua had been, some people already knew it wasn't natural, and they had buried the evidence. Amid the storm of revelations, a fringe but increasingly respected group of physicists and philosophers began promoting what they called the deep intelligence theory. Their argument was radical, that the hidden image found within Oumuamua wasn't just a message. It was a representation of thought itself, conscious geometry. Using principles of neurogeometry and non-Euclidean patterning, they showed how the structure matched the neural firing maps of intelligent beings, particularly those capable of symbolic reasoning. In short, the shape wasn't designed to be read. It was designed to mirror cognition, a way of saying, we think like this. But if that's true, then Oumuamua wasn't only watching. It was introducing itself not with words, not with sound, but with structure. In doing so, it bypassed language and culture, appealing instead to the one thing that unites all advanced intelligence across the universe, the language of form. And if we were able to understand that, then perhaps they were already far ahead in understanding us. As the revelations surrounding Oumuamua rippled through the astrophysics community, a quiet but urgent conversation began among the agencies planning humanity's future interstellar missions. If Oumuamua had been a scout, intentional or not, what might lie beyond our solar system, watching in return? The agencies now faced a dilemma. Should we respond? And if so, how? Some argued for caution, suggesting that our very act of responding might expose us to entities far beyond our control. Others insisted that we must initiate contact deliberately using probes designed with geometrical messages of our own, embedding data that mimics the universal symmetry found in the Oumuamua image. As a result, a secretive coalition began drafting the framework for the first structured signal probe, an interstellar envoy, not to carry language, but to mirror intelligence. The probe, still classified, would include a visual representation of Earth's planetary systems, biological codes, and fractal-based intelligence mapping. Because now it's no longer about exploration. It's about acknowledgement. The universe might already know we're here. The question is, will we have the courage to answer back? While the scientific world was busy dissecting the already revealed image of Oumuamua, a curious document surfaced on an encrypted server belonging to a retired astrophysicist who once worked under contract with the European Space Agency. The file, simply labeled Sequence X, was accompanied by a short note. This was never meant to be buried. Within the archive was a short loop of visual data captured by the infrared telescope on board the Gaia Observatory. What made it disturbing wasn't what it showed, but what it implied. The shape of Oumuamua seen through this alternate spectrum was constantly shifting. Its outer contour vibrating, adjusting, adapting. A craft that alters its surface to match the light conditions. Or something even more advanced. The AI-enhanced version of Sequence X revealed geometric fractals that evolved in precise harmony with nearby stellar magnetic fields. This wasn't mere adaptation. It was response. It was as if Oumuamua wasn't just observing us. It was communicating with something else through a language encoded not in sound, but in shape, light, and motion. Whatever it was doing out there, it wasn't passive. It was transmitting. But to whom? As scientists began compiling the entirety of the data, thermal, spectrographic, photometric, gravitational anomalies, they stumbled upon a chilling new hypothesis whispered among a handful of minds too afraid to publish it. What if Oumuamua was not an object with a mission, but the mission itself? Not a ship, but a vessel of memory. The patterns seen within the hidden image weren't just designs. They resembled compressed archives, memory palaces, the kind ancient civilizations on Earth once used to store stories in their architecture. But this was galactic in scale. A vessel drifting through space, carrying encrypted echoes of an extinct civilization, their knowledge encoded not in words, but in form and physics. What if the reason the object was silent, the reason it passed us by without interaction, was because it had already fulfilled its purpose long ago, and what we intercepted was just the last whisper of a long-dead intelligence left drifting for eons, waiting to be understood by anyone, anything smart enough to see it for what it was. And now it has been seen. And now, as the last decoded frame of Oumuamua's hidden image fades into the black canvas of the cosmos, we are left with more than just pixels and data, we're left with a question that shakes the very pillars of our understanding. Was this object merely an interstellar visitor or a cryptic messenger from a civilization that once breathed, thought, and feared just like us? Could it be that what we've seen isn't the beginning of contact, but the echo of something that once was drifting endlessly across eternity? The scientific community remains silent, choosing caution over panic. But silence is never neutral. And as the evidence quietly confirms our deepest fears, we must now ask ourselves, are we alone in the universe, or are we simply the last to know? The sky no longer feels empty. The silence no longer feels innocent. And maybe, just maybe, Oumuamua was never supposed to be seen until now. If you found this discovery as unsettling and fascinating as we did, make sure to subscribe for more decoded transmissions from the edge of the unknown. Hit the like button if this changed the way you look at the night sky, and let us know in the comments. Do you believe we've just witnessed a cosmic relic or something far more deliberate? Because this is only the beginning.